Hello and welcome to Clavy News Desk. We are reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. I am Imefon Okon. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has officially announced his defection from the People's Democratic Party (PDP) to the African Democratic Congress (ADC. The declaration took place in his hometown, Jada, in Adamawa State on Monday, drawing a massive crowd and several prominent political figures. Clavy News correspondent has the details.
It was a historic political gathering at Jada, hometown of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, where supporters and party faithful converged to witness what many are calling a major realignment in Nigeria's political landscape. The former Vice President Atiku Abubakar arrived to thunderous applause as he formally announced his exit from the PDP as he joins the African Democratic Congress (ADC). Addressing the crowd, Atiku said his decision was driven by what he described as the urgent need to salvage Nigeria from backwardness and redirect the country onto the path of unity, prosperity, and national rebirth.
ADC! First and foremost, I was a foundation member of APC, but I have been thoroughly disappointed with their performance. No doubt about that. And what has happened also to PDP is something that I had predicted, and it has come to pass. It requires experience and intellect, to be able to get these things right. Well, those who are sitting on the fence don't belong to anywhere. But I believe those who are committed to true democracy, good governance, prosperous economy, security, will definitely give it to the ADC. Because it is composed of elements who believe in the sanctity of democratic processes, who should normally bring about unity, prosperity, and development in a country.
The event was graced by notable Adamawa political heavyweights, including former senators Aishatu Ahmed Binani, Shaku Abo, and Abduraziz Nyako, who all expressed confidence that Atiku's move will reshape the political direction of the state.
When the sun turns, the shadow of the tree will also turn. The entire Adamawa politics have today moved into ADC. Atiku Abubakar has never lost election in Adamawa state.
I think for us it's a great team. We wish the Waziri every success in his elections. We pray that we succeed at the national, the state level, and the National Assembly level.
High point of the event was the moment the former vice president was received into the ADC by the party's state chairman, Shehu Yohana.
By His Excellency, the President is waiting by the special grace of God, receiving his membership card today, joining ADC formally. I am assuring you, and I assure you, that all Nigeria will follow suit.
With this declaration, political analysts say the 2025 political terrain may witness significant shift, especially in the northeast region, where Atiku enjoys deep-rooted influence.
Meanwhile, the Nafiu Bala-led faction of the African Democratic Congress has disowned former Vice President Atiku Abubakar's registration in Adamawa, insisting he is not yet a recognized member of the party. This clarification comes as after Atiku publicly collected his ADC membership card at Jada 1 ward in Adamawa State. In a statement issued in Abuja by the ADC Director of Media and Public Affairs, Christopher Okechukwu, the party declared that the registration exercise in Adamawa was illegitimate and violated internal procedures. He stated this registration was conducted by individuals not recognized by the ADC's national headquarters and therefore lacked authority to register new members. The faction warned that Atiku's actions could be part of a broader strategy to leverage the ADC while awaiting reconciliation with the People's Democratic Party, noting that such patterns have been observed before Okechukwu appealed to the former vice president to follow due process, emphasizing that the ADC is not a vehicle for personal ambition but a movement committed to democratic renewal, and assured him of full membership right once he properly registers with the authorities' ward structure. Nigerians are demanding answers tonight as the dramatic return of kidnapped worshippers in Kwara State raises more questions than relief, especially with not a single arrest made and not one suspect in custody. The development has sparked outrage across the country, with many asking, how did armed abductors vanish without a trace? The report.
Public concern exploded over the weekend after the chief press secretary to the president, Bayo Onanuga, revealed in a televised interview that the Department of State Service and the military directly contacted the kidnappers and urged them to release their captives. The statement hit the nation like a bombshell, ignited heated debate and widespread shock. Across social media platforms and public forums, Nigerians are questioning what this means for national security and whether state agencies have now adopted negotiation as a covert tactic with dangerous implications for future crimes.
The DSS and the military were involved in the rescue efforts. I think they got in contact with the bandits to release those people unarmed. Well, at the risk of revealing how they do their work, they do have a way of tracking these people.
Right.
So they know what's going on at any point in time. What sometimes restrains them from going after them is the risk of collateral damage.
Of course.
They go about abducting our people and they use them as shield so that they will not be attacked. So they don't just want to be attacking them, they need to be sure that they are not using our people as a kind of a shield.
Security analysts and civil society organizations warn that the disclosure exposes troubling cracks in the country's anti-kidnapping architecture. They say it raises fundamental concerns about the ability of law enforcement to arrest perpetrators, the emboldened confidence of bandits, and a pattern of criminals operating with apparent impunity. Meanwhile, families of the rescued worshippers relieved but unsettled are demanding transparency. They want answers on why no suspect was apprehended, how the kidnappers executed the operation so effortlessly, and what role the alleged communication between the DSS and the abductors truly play. Authorities have yet to issue a formal clarification, leaving the nation waiting and watching for the next revelation. Florence Joshua reporting for Clearview News Desk.
There is heightened tension in Kwara State following a fresh attack on the Isaba community in the Ekiti local government area. According to reports, the unidentified gunmen, estimated to be between 20 and 30 in numbers, reportedly stormed the area with a large herd of cattle, firing sporadically as they advanced. Clearview News gathered that an elderly woman was struck by a stray bullet during the assault, while a pregnant woman, 10 children, 2 nursing mothers, and several others were abducted. According to a community leader, a total of 11 persons were taken, including 7 members of one family. The attackers are said to have escaped through bush paths linking Iroko to neighboring communities. This incident comes barely 2 weeks after bandits attacked the Christ Apostolic Church in the same region, abducting 38 worshippers. However, all the victims from that earlier attack have since been rescued. The latest development has further deepened concerns over the growing insecurity in the area. Similarly, a fresh wave of fear is sweeping through communities in Maradon local government area, where residents said they are now living under a ticking one-week deadline imposed by feared bandit kingpin identified as Kachala Dang Sadia. The warlord has reportedly slammed a staggering 50 million naira levy on Kama, Kiwa, and neighboring villages, a demand locals said could wipe out what is left of their livelihoods, and in a stark contrast to the turmoil on the ground. The wife of the Zamfara state governor has overseen a mass wedding for 200 girls, a move government officials insist is aimed at restoring stability for young women. Clavius Florence Joshua reports.
Villagers say this latest order comes after months of misery spent working as forced laborers on the bandit leaders' farmland throughout the rainy season. They recount how they toiled from planting to harvest without a single naira in payment, praying the end of the farming season would finally bring relief. But instead of rest, what arrived was another crushing blow. Residents describe a renewed cycle of intimidation and financial strangulation as the unpaid labor and now the newly imposed tax push families into unprecedented hardship. Many say they live in constant fear, unsure how to survive, unable to plan their future, and left clinging only to prayers for protection, and a day when their dignity and livelihoods are no longer dedicated by armed men. Across Zamfara, the development has reignited troubling questions about the rise of bandit commanders who have effectively transformed themselves into shadow governments, collecting levies and issuing directives with an authority once reserved for state institutions. At the same time, as insecurity deepens, the governor's wife's mass wedding for 200 girls has sparked debate, with officials defending it as an initiative meant to bring stability to young women caught in the storm of violence and poverty.
This occasion highlights our collective commitment to supporting the most vulnerable in our communities: widows, orphans, needy families, and all those who require assistance to live with dignity. Under the administration of His Excellency Governor Dauda Lawal, our state continues to prioritize the welfare programs that uplift our people and reduce hardship.
We married out 200 couples, 100 women and 100 men. So this one is part of the efforts and what the executive governor of Zamfara State, Dauda Lawal, is insisting, and that is why he is calling his government government of rescue, so that we can reduce the poverty in the state.
However, not everyone is convinced with the state's First Lady's action, as many residents argue that no ceremony can overshadow the harsh reality on the ground, that security, not weddings, should be the first priority as communities continue to fall under the grip of armed groups. For now, authorities have remained silent, issuing no official reaction to the latest multi-million naira levy imposed by the bandit leader, leaving residents waiting, watching and wondering what comes next. Florence Joshua reporting for Clearview News Desk.
Nigerian singer Darlington Okoye, better known as Speed Darlington, has been called out by the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trading in Persons, NAPTIP, during a recent press conference in Abuja. The music star, who had an ongoing battle with the federal agency a few months ago over his videos about underage girls, was declared wanted. In a recent development, NAPTIP held a press conference where the controversy surrounding the music star was addressed. The agency said the step was taken because of his failure to honor the agency's invitation to its headquarters in Abuja a few months ago. According to the director of prosecution, it was alleged that the singer attempted to intimidate the agency after being declared wanted. The agency also stated that despite efforts to locate Speed Darlington, they have not succeeded in doing so. NAPTIP further alleged that Speed Darlington posted videos on social media saying he will not honor the agency's invitation and claiming that they were violating his human rights. And that's the news. You can follow up on latest events and happenings around you via social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Clearview News Desk or via handle on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Clearview Online. Many thanks for watching. I am Imifono Kun.